I'm Stacy Gordon. Welcome to That's My Jam. I've got a really good recipe for you today. It's quick, it's easy, it's delicious, and I'm pretty sure your whole family will approve. Today, we're going to make Southwest beef flautas. We're going to start this recipe off by preheating our oven to 425 degrees. Now we'll dice up half of a yellow onion. We'll move that chopped onion to the side of our cutting board. I've washed up 1 Roma tomato, and we'll chop that up. I'm making enough Pico de Gallo and enough Crema today for about 2 servings or about 4 flautas. If you have a need for more than that, you can double or even triple the amounts I'm using. Next, I've washed up 1 nice juicy lime, and we're going to get a little bit of the zest off of this lime. We don't need too much lime zest, maybe a 1/4 or a 1/2 teaspoon. We're going to cut the remaining lime into 4 pieces. Next, I'm going to place all of the tomato into a little bowl. Then we'll add about 2 tablespoons of the onion. We'll use one of these lime wedges and squeeze the lime juice right into that. Actually, I think I'm going to use 2 limes because I like a lot of lime juice in this pico. We'll add just a tiny bit of salt and a dash of pepper, and we're going to blend all of that together. This is going to make a nice little Pico de Gallo. We'll set this aside so all of these flavors can marinate. Next, we're going to need that little bowl that we put the lime zest in. We're going to add a little bit of sour cream to that lime zest. 2 great big spoonfuls. We'll blend that up. And we're going to add just a little drizzle of water into this. Remember, you can always add more, but you can't take it back. We're going to stir that up and add a little more water. Just a few more drops. One more little bit of water. The objective here is to get this crema to a nice drizzle consistency, and I think we've achieved that. Now it's time to start working on our ground beef. I'm going to use 1 pound of a nice Kentucky Cattleman's ground beef. I'm going to place that in a deep skillet over some medium-high heat. I'm going to add the remainder of our onion. Y'all know I love my minced garlic in oil. I'm going to add the equivalent of about 1 clove of garlic. Now I'll add some Southwest seasoning. Don't be shy with that. And just a pinch of salt. We're going to break this ground beef up into tiny pieces, and we're just going to continue to cook this until the ground beef is browned. Once this ground beef is brown, I'm going to drain off the excess grease. Now we'll place that back into our skillet. I'm going to reduce my heat just a tad. To that, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon flour. Remember our Orrington Farms broth base and seasoning? By the way, I do not get a kickback from that. I just like the product. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of that to a 1/4 cup water. I'll blend that up, and that's going to go right in our pan. You should be on about a medium heat now. We're going to mix this up, and that flour is going to start mixing in with the water and the beef broth that we threw in there, and this is going to start to thicken. I'm going to add just a tad more salt and a little pepper. Once the flour thickens that mixture, we're going to go ahead and remove this from the heat. Next, we need some soft flour tortillas. I've placed some aluminum foil on a cookie sheet, and I'll put just a little bit of olive oil into a plate. Our objective here is to coat each side of our soft tortillas in the oil. Now we're going to spoon some of our meat mixture onto one end of a tortilla. I've got some nice shredded Monterey Jack cheese. Put that on top. And then we're going to just roll this little guy up. We're going to start with the end that's stuffed. And we want to leave the open side on the bottom. We'll just move that over onto our cookie sheet and start with the next one. We'll just line these up until we've used up all of our meat mixture. I was able to roll 8 flautas out of that mixture. I stuffed these pretty full. You could easily get 10 if you have more people to feed. This is ready to go in the oven for somewhere around 8 to 12 minutes. Now's the perfect time to go tap the like button for me, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. About 10 minutes later, these come out of the oven sizzling and golden brown. Now, let's plate this up. I'll place 2 of the flautas on a plate. Then remember that yummy crema we made? We're going to drizzle that over the flautas. Our Pico de Gallo has been marinating. We're going to put some of that on top. We'll finish up with a lime wedge. It may seem like a lot of steps, but just look at this end result. These guys are crispy on the outside, ooey gooey chewy on the inside. I ain't even playing. Y'all gonna love this. I know it looks like these flautas are a lot of work, but that's just because there are a lot of steps that go into preparing it. None of them are difficult, and it doesn't take that long to get everything together. Any leftovers you had can easily go into the fridge and be reheated in the toaster oven or the air fryer. I also make these flautas with ground pork. Absolutely delicious. I truly hope you have a great week ahead. I'll see you real soon. In the meantime, turn off the TV, turn on some music, and just keep jamming.